Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Another beautiful day upon us here. And we got a hell of an interview for you today. We got the legend, Jake Shields. And we got the legend, Joe Diesel Riggs in the house. Let's have a good one here. Crack yourself a refreshment, get that posture up. Let's get serious. Jake Shields, ladies and gentlemen, for new MMA fans who've been in, you got to take a peek at this guy. He had some fucking crazy wins. Beat Dan Henderson, fought GSP, beat Jason Miller, beat Robbie Lawler, beat Paul Daly, beat some real legends of the sport, and now has his own podcast, and that's Jake Shields, AJJ, on YouTube. He just fresh off an interview with Merab, and one of the best American Jiu-Jitsu MMA fighters ever. So thanks for making time for us, Jake.
Yeah, no problem. Like I said, it's been a big, busy week, but managed to squeeze this in. So good talking to you guys.
Dude, yeah. Hey, I know, we'll just get started. I know you've been big on like diet. Are you still a pescatarian these days?
I'm actually a vegetarian. So I'm not vegan, but the whole life been vegetarian. So I eat eggs and stuff, but never any meat. I've eaten meat a few times, but I always get sick when I do. So stayed vegetarian. Yeah, it's kind of unusual with a fighting career. And everyone always says how strong I am. So
yeah, exactly. You had that strong style. You get on top, get the half guard, take people's back. Just a strong style of wrestling and on top jiu-jitsu. How much, what's an average day of eating for you? Do you just kind of get shit here and there in Vegas or what?
Yeah, I'm not really as strict as I should be. I mean, I eat probably about 4 times a day, but it's not that strict. And I eat totally random food, but like for protein, I do like eggs and beans, rice, Thai food. I eat all kinds of stuff. It's not as hard as you think. It's like one of those things that seems crazy or not used to it, but for me, I'm so used to it, it's super easy. Sometimes when I'm traveling with stuff.
And a day in a life with Jake Shields, are you still training every day jiu-jitsu or?
I train most days. I train probably, I really enjoy training. So I probably train like 4 days a week now and lift a little bit, but there's times where I'll go more. I've just been really busy with some business stuff, starting the podcast. So I've slowed it down, but I love training. If I'm not training, I go crazy.
Yeah, same with me. It drives me fucking crazy too. So what kind of, my favorite drugs these days, I like some Mary J here and there. I like caffeine a lot. You messing with any drugs these days?
Not often, I did drugs more when I was younger. I'm not saying I don't ever, but yeah, not coke. I never really liked, haven't really done much in a while. MDMA is fun on occasion. Oh, I did shrooms not too long ago. That was fun.
And did you go deep on those?
Went pretty deep because I did them like a couple months ago, but we went a little bit light. So I went back with the same group of friends and we just went hard out like on the boat and hiking, and we were gone. But it was the perfect place for it. It was like all good friends. We're in the middle of nowhere. All of a sudden, like we stumbled across these rams that were just full on battling. We're just like,
oh, that's cool.
I wasn't sure if I hallucinated it, but then we recorded the next day and I'm like, nope. The rams, it's like the nature when they're running, smashing the heads. We're like, how do we stumble across this?
Just shedding some tears watching nature.
Yeah, no, it's the perfect place to do it. So if you're going to do something like shrooms, in my opinion, I don't like doing it around like people I don't know and weird places. I can start getting like anxious, but if you do it out in nature, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Remember one time I ate a bunch of mushrooms and watched fights, and I was like, that was when I was still fighting, and I'm like, wait, I do this for a living? What is wrong with me? Like panicked for a second, and then I just got like all into it. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm a gladiator.
Yeah, I think there's a way to just flick your brain and just turn it the opposite way and turn into an absolute freak on those mushrooms. But that's what everyone says. If you're a fighter, you don't want to do ayahuasca too early, because when you come out of that, you might not want to fight no more.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. Like I was in Peru not too long ago. I'd already stopped fighting, but I got invited by random jiu-jitsu fans. Like, oh, you want to go do ayahuasca out in the jungle? And I was tempted, but it's like, my life's pretty good. I'm pretty happy. And I think it's like, if you're going to do ayahuasca, you really got to dwell on what your questions are and what you want. So I decided not to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think if your life's really good, do you really want to go out and put something that's going to question your life?
That's a good point.
Fuck yeah, it is. So you've had 44 fights. You fought all the legends of the sport. You fought up weight classes. Is there a loss that in particular that you really grew the most from, where you really took it and you hit another stride after you lost?
It's hard to say. Probably early on when I was having a good streak fighting in Japan, won the Shudo title and stuff. And then I think it was, I think this guy lost my Shudo belt to this guy. What was his name? Not Sakurai.
You beat Sakurai.
Saku or something. Yeah, I beat Sakurai. It was a different guy. And I think after that, it was just like, I think I cut a little too much weight, gassed. And that's when I'm like, okay, I got to get my diet perfect, everything perfect. And that's when I went on that crazy, crazy 15 fight win streak, which, You know, it was a streak guy. It was some good guys in that streak too. It wasn't like just randoms. It was like, you know, guys like Henderson in there.
Mike
you know,
Pyle, fucking.
Yeah, Mike Pyle, Carlos Condit. It was just like
Martin
Robbie
Cameron.
Lawler. Yeah, exactly. So it
Yushin
was,
Okami.
it was crazy. Yeah, Yushin Okami, exactly. It was kind of a crazy, as you guys know, you're in the fight business. When you're on those kind of streaks, you have to just be laser focused. So I was completely just obsessed with train. That was my whole life. So
Yeah, that's badass. So at that time, were you doing much training with Nick and Nate Diaz, a lot of their triathlete type training?
No, I did a ton of training with them, but none of the triathletes. I did a lot of running with them. I would run with them, but I was never into the swimming. I was never a very good swimmer. I would sink.
Too dense.
You think me being white, them being Mexican, it should have been opposite, but they were just like flying.
They swam to Alcatraz. That's crazy. They went back and forth to Alcatraz several times. Nick
Yeah,
did?
they're nuts. For me, I'm like, no, I'll pass. Nick's like, you want to go to Alcatraz? I'm like, no, thanks. Nick's crazy. As Joe knows, Nick's crazy. They got a good story. I don't know if people know the story here, but
yeah, that's fucking badass. So, I mean, someone who's been around as long as you, been at so many different gyms, beat so many different world champions. If you could go back, this is stealing a question from Tim Ferriss. If you could go back to your 20-year-old self, what would you say if you could give him some advice?
Yeah, there's not too much because my life overall has been pretty good. I've done most of the things I've wanted. Obviously, there's a few things you always wish it could be a little bit different, but overall, I think 20s when I did finally start getting dedicated and decided I wanted to be a world champion, and no one else believed in me, but I was obsessed and just went for it. So I don't think there's really too much I would tell myself.
And
you know?
were you always good with your money? Would you pay your taxes and then put it away, or would you just ball out?
I was pretty good with my money, thankfully. I had people around me, so I'd pay my tax. I'd put some away, make some investments. Mostly good. You know, most people, when you first start, you got everyone trying to scam you for investments. I think I fell for that like once. So overall, I was good with my money. So thankfully, I got in a situation when I retired. It wasn't like I was desperate for money, which that's a shitty situation when you're fighting because you need money.
Fuck, you see it all the time. Once guys start getting older, they spent their whole life becoming an expert in this sport, and they don't really think about really what's next. So I mean,
most fighters have no other discernible skills besides fighting. Honestly, they have nothing else. Jake, it's good seeing how good you're doing after retirement. You know, you're looking good physically and mentally. You don't see that too much, man. It's good to see that.
Yeah. No, it sucks when you see guys not doing well. You know, I'm thankfully a lot of the guys around me are still doing well. You know, the Gil Melendez, the Nate Diaz, a lot of my friends are doing well, but you do see guys that are struggling. Like, you know, Phil Broney was a friend of mine, and oh man, I don't even want to talk about that actually, but it's a sad road he went down.
Are you in any kind of communication with Phil or no?
Not since all the stuff happened in Mexico and whatnot. But it sucks when you see a friend do something that crazy and that horrible.
Fuck yeah, dude. Did you ever compete in ADCC?
Yeah, I competed there twice. I took third way back in 2005, which for an MMA fighter to place ADCC is pretty crazy when that's like a side sport. And then I did it again not too long ago, but it was an opening they had at 220 pounds, which is way bigger than me. But I still went and won the first match and almost won the second, so I still did well. Yeah, it's crazy. I still train with a lot of those ADCC guys and do well, other than like Gordon Ryan. Yeah, I said him on the podcast yesterday. He's a freak, but a lot of these guys, they still do well with the guys in the elite world, which is pretty crazy at 45.
Man, I fucking believe it. So what would you say your favorite rule set is? Would it be ADCC? Would it be CJI? Or, I mean, I don't know if you've competed much IBJJF ever.
Yeah, it's tough. There's so many different rule sets, so it is hard finding the right one that's the most exciting. So probably like, well, ADCC is weird because they don't score the first 5 minutes. The CGI was interesting, but I never competed that way, where they scored 3 separate rounds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was pretty badass. So I saw on your Instagram you had a weekend with Dan Bilzerian. Was that pretty wild?
Oh yeah, we went out. I hang out with him quite a bit because he lives here in Vegas, and he's not wild anymore. It's the funny part. Everyone thinks I'm hanging out with Dan. They're like, oh, you got you guys in 30 girls. We're both past our womanizing phases, trying to be good. So he actually keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah,
but yeah, we were out in France and Romania and stuff last week.
Yeah, I've heard him on a couple podcasts recently just talking about, like, when you talk about the highest fucking highs, he's been on the highest highs, and just saying how it's just like, that's not what true happiness is. So if you're going to learn that from anyone, he's the one to learn it from.
That's a good point.
Just fucking drugs and chicks.
Yeah, he lived like the amazing life. Like, you know, I've seen him show up. He'd have 7 girls at his house, like no big deal. so he's done it all.
Yeah, I'm sure after that 3rd, 4th bust, you start just getting a little sick of them.
Seriously, yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, threesomes are already hard enough, and you walk in, Dan's got 7, and you're just like, What
Holy
the hell?
fuck.
I thought I was good with girls.
Is
Apparently
he really
not.
getting after it? Is he really pumping on them girls? Is he pounding on them?
Back in the day, I'm sure.
Yeah, back in the day. Now he's kind of like kicked his sex addiction. I think he's like, okay, I got an actual addiction. I need to kick it.
Oh shit!
When he first said that, I'm like, yeah, sure, Dan. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna kick my sex addiction. I'm like, yeah, sure. But then boom, just gone. I'm like, oh, this guy's got good willpower.
Damn, that's badass. So recently you had Merab on the show, and Merab was wanting to push for the rematch, and I mean, fuck, we'd have been fired up for that rematch too. But now Suge's got to get surgery, and Merab was calling for Merab was calling for Suge on November. So it sounds like Merab's going to be ready to fight. So I wonder if the UFC is going to try to book him versus Umar in December or January.
That's what it seems like. And yeah, I think the money fight would have been the rematch. That's what I thought would have been great too. But he had a good point to Umar. He's a great fighter, but he hasn't fought in a tough competition. But it seems like that's the fight that's going to happen now. And then, good chance that O'Malley will fight the winner. Yeah,
for sure. Were you the one to explain to Merab that there's a such thing as pay-per-view points and more viewers, you'll get more money? And he kind of clicked with him, or?
I didn't explain that to him, but I figured he understood that, or no. That's why I was saying, like, why don't you push for the O'Malley fight? Because that's the money fight. Mm-hmm. I assumed he already knew that, but I don't know. That's what I was telling him. That's the fight the fans want to see, I think, other than the Russian ones. And I think Umar's great. I just think it would make sense to have him fight one tough fight first and then have them fight again.
Yeah, I agree. I agree for sure. So now you're teaching a couple times a week at Extreme Couture, helping with the fighters, and I'm sure they're loving that.
Yeah, no, it's great working with pros. I just love the sport, so it's good to be around good pro fighters and go and corner them. I actually work with a couple really good 35-pounders. Like, I don't know if you know the Basharat brothers in the UFC. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're both talented up-and-comers, and this guy, Patchy Mix, who's he's in Bellator, but he is dangerous. I think he's one of the best 135-pounders in the world, too. I think outside of the UFC, he's right up there with the elite of the UFC.
Yeah, for sure. He's a big, tall, really good grappler.
He's huge.
Yeah, he's big for that weight class. So, average day, say Jake Shields doesn't have much going on. What do you watch on Netflix? You throwing on some 90 Day Fiance? Or are you watching some Andrew Tate getting fired up?
Yeah, I don't watch too much TV. Maybe I'll watch a little stuff on YouTube. I started watching what was the sequel to Game of Thrones? I've been started watching that. It's decent, not as good as the Game of Thrones so far, but I can't remember the name of that, the dragon thing. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't watch that much TV.
And probably being in Vegas, do you get invited out to clubs quite a bit? Do you go out much?
You get invited out all the time, but I try not to go out much. It's tough though, because like I said, I only go out when friends are in town, but friends are in town all the time.
Yeah.
It's the fight capital. So everyone's coming through. Like I said, I was out with Gordon Ryan last night, and he's in town. He's probably gonna want to go out tonight. And then, then like Gil Melendez will be coming to town, and Nate Diaz. It's just fighters are constantly here. So people are always, and then random friends from other things, and they're always trying to get you to go out. We have to explain, like, hey, I live here. I can come out like one night, and I can't go out till like 8 a.m. with you.
Especially nowadays, I'm getting a little older. Fucking a hangover the last 4 days.
Yeah, surprisingly, I don't get hungover that much still. I mean, I guess I usually don't get wasted. I guess I go and have a few drinks, so the hangovers don't hit me that bad. I was always fortunate. I could go out, like when I was fighting, I could party, do drugs all night, and go spar. People would show up, be like, oh, I'm going to fuck this guy up. And I'm like, nah, I'm still going to smoke you. So the guys who go for me extra hard that day, smelling the alcohol, thinking they're going to get me, and it's just like, nah.
Beat him down extra. Hey, so were you one of the guys chasing down Neon at Nate's little fight, the little guy that was talking shit in the crowd?
I went out there because I didn't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
I thought he deserved maybe to get slapped or whatever. But I wanted to. I don't think anyone was gonna hurt him, but I just wanted to make sure he didn't like actually get beat up because he was just. He was a little punk, but he's just too little. He's like a little kid. I'm like, I didn't want anyone to hurt him.
Yeah.
He looked fragile. So I did run out there. I'm thinking, hopefully people don't think I'm running to beat him up because I want to make sure, because those guys won't listen to anyone else. But with me, if I jump in, they'd probably be like, all right, if I tell them to stop, they'll probably actually stop because those 2 and 9 guys are crazy. But like, I'm one of the only guys they might actually listen to if I tell them to stop beating them up.
Yeah. So did you get to go out there and visit Tristan and Andrew Tate?
Yeah. I hung out with, we were just randomly out there, but I hung out with, met Andrew real quick, but hung out with Tristan quite a bit. We, he's didn't say challenge me, but he told me he'd out-drink me. So we ended up putting down like 2 bottles of whiskey. He can drink. He did out-drink me.
Damn.
But I held my own. I can't believe we put down like two bottles till like 8 a.m. and we were both still walking around functioning.
Yeah, that's badass. I mean, we got to meet. We didn't get to meet Tristan, but we got to have Andrew on our pod back in the day, and just a cool normal dude. Mm-hmm. Definitely not normal, but dude. Cool.
Yeah, not normal. I don't think that's probably a cool dude. But yeah, I think he had like court the next day or something, so he was like kind of stressed out, rightfully so. But yeah, I know Andrew. I've talked to him quite a bit, like online and stuff. But a cool dude. But yeah, hung out with Tristan all night.
What's not normal?
Cool, smart dudes.
Yeah,
they think differently, but extremely smart, both of them.
Yeah, for sure. So do you keep in contact with Nate and Nick much? How's Nick doing?
Oh yeah, all the time. Talk to him all the time. Nick and Nate all the time. Nick's he's been on and off training. Nate's been killing it with the fights and stuff, making money, selling out. Even that boxing fight, he sold out like an 18,000 seat arena, and he was a star out there with no promotion. It shows Nate's a superstar. I think. Oh, I don't know if Connor's ready to fight again, but I think Nate and Connor is the fight that really makes sense again. That would just be a massive fight that the fans want to see. Some people could knock it, saying Connor lost his last couple fights, but it's a marquee super fight, and sometimes that's what's important.
Dude, I agree 100%. And it's badass. Just, I mean, like, Sugar's a star. He's got a big following. So Nate, I mean, he doesn't have all the wins in the world. He has losses on his record. And still to see him, because I went to him versus Jorge, it's still see him fill out those arenas. People get fired up for him. It's pretty fucking inspiring.
Yeah, like I said, it's like, obviously if it matters, he loses some, but he's still a superstar. And then again, he won his last fight, and the crowd was just going nuts for him. So it's just like, you walk in, you're like, wow, this guy's a star. Which is weird. Nate's like a little brother to me. I've known him since he's 16, and he's just turned into a huge superstar. But he's deserved it. He's put in the work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Is him and Nate still real close? I mean, him and Nick still real close?
I think they mostly are. Every now and again, like brothers will have a few issues, but I think they try to stay close.
I mean, Nick's a fucking animal for wanting to come off that long of a layoff and then fight Vicente Luque. Not only he wants to fight him for 5 rounds too. It just shows you how much of a fucking OG he is, dude.
Oh yeah, he's savage. And the thing, when he fought Robbie Lawler, he had like no training camp. He was going through some things in his life. I don't want to say too much.
Yeah,
but he like literally didn't train for that fight. I was so worried. I'm like, I almost didn't even want to go to the fight. And he went out there, lost the fight, but he put on a war still versus Lawler had clearly trained hard for it, and he went out there and still put on a hell of a fight. It just showed you off just pure heart.
Dude, yeah, he looked like vintage Nick Diaz, just getting busy right up. It's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah. No, but, he for a second it looked like he might pull off the upset with no training. I'm like, wow, which is just pure heart.
Fuck. Yeah. Okay, boys and girls. Hope you're enjoying the show. This episode is brought to you by VIIA Hemp. I hurt my back recently, and I'm not wanting to get on all these pain pills to get rid of the pain. So I'm turning to VIIA Hemp. Their organic hemp is grown without pesticides and harsh chemicals. It's just a real quality product. It really is. I really like their flower. It's smooth, helps you relax and have a good time. Their gummies are also great. Right before practice, I like to elevate gummies to help dial in, or after practice, the cloud nine to chill out and relax. They have all sorts of ones. They have Zen ones that are THC free. They have 130 milligram CBD, CBN, passion flower, and L-theanine. They have a whole host of products, and they're all really quality. They don't make you feel groggy and just crappy from cheap stuff. I really enjoy their products, top to bottom. That's VIIA Hemp. Check out the link in the description and use code TIM for 15% off. Give them a try. You will not regret it. Everyone that I've turned on to these products, they really love them, and they're hard to beat when it comes to just quality edibles. So thank you very much, VIIA Hemp. Well, dude, sorry we took so long getting this shit set up. Maybe we'll have to do another pod another day. I know you got another interview to get to, but thanks for hanging around, and you're a fucking legend. And go check out Jake Shields' YouTube, Jake Shields, AJJ on YouTube.
Yep.
Just started his own podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna start doing a lot more fighters. I started out doing kind of political stuff because I talked about fighting for so long, but I got a bunch of fighters that want to come on now, so I think I'll. It's dumb not to. So I'll have some good guests coming on soon.
Who talked you into starting your pod?
I just kind of randomly, I was kind of helping some other guys out get guests, and I realized I know so many people, such a good network, and obviously between the fighting, comedians, I've just always had good social skills. And I'm like, well, if I know all these people, why don't I screw around and give it at least a year? And so far, it's only been 2 months, and it's getting good growth. Like anything, it takes time. When you first start it, it's like you have no YouTube, so it can be a little frustrating when you're like literally no one's on the channel, so no one's able to watch it. But now you start seeing growth, and it's like, okay, I think I got something here.
Yeah, and then the art of interviewing too, just interviewing people and keeping the convo going. Sometimes you'll get people who will just give you one-word answers, and you're like, "Fuck, this one's gonna be brutal to get through."
You do a good fucking job.
Yeah. It's a tough skill. I've been, like I said, I feel like I'm definitely learning it and getting better, but it's tough. I don't write questions. I try to have several topics I want to talk about, and if it kind of slows down, I'll be like, switch it up, ask this. And so far, I feel like it's done pretty good. I haven't had too many. I've had a couple guests that have been talked less, but nothing bad.
Fuck yeah, dude. All right, everyone, check out his channel. Jake, thanks a lot. We'll talk to you again soon, brother. Thank you.
Take care, buddy.
Cool. Great talking, guys. Have a good one.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back again. Thanks, Jake Shields, for coming. But just like you said, I mean, being around the sport that long, grappling that much, fighting that much, and being vegetarian,
I don't know how. Like I said, he's doing a lot. I couldn't keep weight on at all. I was fucking wither away.
I remember 11 years ago, I watched some documentary on Netflix. I'm like, it all makes sense. And I tried to go vegan for a while, and then just fucking withered away too.
I don't know. Is he doing it because he's an animal lover, or it's healthy?
I should have asked him that, but I wonder if some people are meant to be vegan and some people aren't. Like according to blood work, because some people, like clearly, he fucking looks healthy.
Yeah, fucking. Some people do better with it. I didn't look. I have a picture. I looked like I had cancer. It was horrible. Lisa told me I looked gray. It was fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you're looking gray, it's not good.
Yeah. This fucking such a sad thing that happened. This firefighter who trains here, fucking great guy, nicest guy, big family man, does so much for the community and stuff. And he got surgery on his tricep.
Fuck.
And then he died from a blood clot yesterday.
What? Oh, that is.
His daughter had to
terrible.
come home and find him. And firefighters had to get the vax.
I'm
not saying it's the fucking vax, but there's a good chance it is. When this guy's that healthy, he's that fit, takes care of himself, gets a simple tricep surgery.
That's fucking.
And that's what's been happening. Same with my brother. He got way healthier than me. Got a blood clot in his leg after, and about fucking croaked.
Is that what a lot of people are having? They're having blood clots.
Clots from the vax, and I think I heard it on a Joe Rogan thing or something saying like, there's some bad batches and there's some good batches. So if you had a bad batch,
you're fucked.
You're
I mean,
fucked.
it's and if you had any kind of heart conditions before, it just got worse. Thank God I fought Lisa never. Lisa has a bad heart. That'd have been horrible.
Oh God, because were you thinking about it? I mean, probably everyone was.
Because if they would have made it where you couldn't fucking go grocery shopping or anything, obviously you had to do what you had to do. But I was pretty steadfast in my not getting that shit.
If you want to go back on a Patreon, we just had this guy on who got wrongfully convicted of like attempted murder.
What?
We had him on the confidential Patreon. Wrongfully convicted attempted murder. They picked him up in Phoenix. They arrested him. He went to the Phoenix jail for 30 days. They transferred him to Florida for 6 months. And then he had a lawyer who went to bat for him, and he the lawyer was good and got him out of it, thankfully. But
what exonerated him? Was there like
he was
DNA or something?
And his buddy's phone was tapped, and he made some like kind of joke like we should do him like this, like a shooting that happened at the club, and that's how they thought they got him. Wow. But in court, the lawyers just shut him down real quick. But I'm watching this fucking show called Monsters on Netflix.
Is that about serial killers?
No, it's about the Mendez bro.
Oh God, yeah, that's fucking great. Those are two fucking loons.
I mean, you think they're loons till you watch the.
Well, they killed their fucking parents. You know,
their dad butt fucked them their whole life and sexually abused the fuck.
Wait, hold on. Now I haven't seen it. Is this been confirmed? This is what they've said since the beginning.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's been confirmed. This is just the episode I'm on. So I'm going off Netflix. They've been
butt fucked. I mean, that's what they said. But why shoot their mom? You know, they said
because the mom knew about it. And she wouldn't shut that down.
I don't believe a fucking word of that because they have no shred of evidence that says anything. There was nothing, nobody in the family. I mean, that stuff.
I mean, also though, that guy created them, and those guys killed him. So
that's fucking. I mean, the kids could generate hatred for their father. I'm going through that right now. I'm locking my door. My son goes in and finishes me off.
And did you get into it recently with him?
Yeah, fuck yeah. He assaulted me. Well, I mean, assaulted me, but I was making him come with me to take Jaden to a concert. And he just like, no, I'm not doing it. And he said, I don't want to go with you. I just saying no. I'm like, I'm going to drag you out of your chair. Cause it's like, again, he just challenges me. So I start to pull him out of his chair and he drives me into the dog bowls. Pushes me into the wall.
I'm sure it's easier said than done because I'm sure my kid's going to fire me up too. But do you ever try to just talk to him and be like, Joey, why are you having these outbursts?
All the time. Yeah, and so at least it tries to say it's because of the weed. I didn't tell him about the weed in the beginning, but fucking he's just it's so disrespectful, and he's a good kid. I love my son, but I don't know how I didn't crack him. Just because, I mean, out of any father would have done that. I mean, not just beat the shit out of him, but just even instinctually. My son embarrassed me, threw me against a dog dish, and just.
Then your mother-in-law's bucking around saying,
yeah, kick me. I'm not gonna have violence in my house, and I just started making a fool out of myself.
You, slam the door.
You stupid bitch. And then
okay. Do you think kids can be born actual sociopath freaks, or do you think that they have to
I think with
get raised like that.
I mean, it's nature versus nurture. People always discuss. I think with that, I think it's I think it could be both actually. I mean, but more your surroundings as a kid, man, kind of develop that shit.
And the way, I mean, this Monsters Netflix doc. I mean, it's not even it's like a series. It's a series. It's really, really good.
Like a docuseries?
But at first you're like so disgusted at them murdering their parents with a shotgun.
Yeah.
But then after they talk about what those parents did, they go revisit the scene. It makes you feel good them shooting your parents.
If they did it, they got you roped in, don't they? You're hook, line, and sinker. You believe the old Mendez brothers?
I do. Well, fuck. I'm still. I haven't watched the whole series. They go to trial here soon.
So so it's all like pre-recorded stuff for the trial, like before they got convicted.
Yeah, but it's like a real series. It's like with actors.
Oh, so okay. So I see what you're saying. Who's playing who's playing their characters?
Ryan Murphy and Ian Brennan, and it's really good. You got to watch it.
Really?
It'll get you fired up. It had me fucking throwing 1-2s. In my
Because you wanted to beat the dad up because you thought he was butt fucking his kids?
Well, I had so much hate for those brothers once they did that to their own fucking parents. But then after they said how big of a douche this guy was and made him look like the biggest fucking cocksucker ever.
For sure. They
then I'm like,
that fat bastard.
God.
If he did that shit, obviously, I think just like Jake, any predator should be publicly executed. Honestly, I do think that because you can't. There's no rehabilitation for that stuff.
I feel like that's a way to put an end to it. But what happens to those little shit kids that are like they say, hey, this guy did this to me. This teacher did this to me, and he didn't.
Yeah.
Then what do you do?
And
he's getting publicly executed now.
Yeah, that's a good point. God damn you and your fucking points. It's who knows? I don't. It's just you got to be sure about something. Obviously, there's got to be
some sort of evidence.
Yeah, like irrefutable evidence. You can't deny it. I mean, you don't go just killing people because you think you just have an inkling he's been butt fucking. You got to have some proof.
Mm-hmm. For Mr. Diesel, okay, this is kind of off the wall question here, but we'll hit it. For Mr. Diesel, if you had to take 5 dicks one time or one dick 5 times, which one are you going to do?
Brakes. You say dicks?
Dicks.
Yeah. Now repeat that again. For
Mr. Diesel, if you had to take 5 dicks one time or one dick 5 times, which one you going to do? You got to do
I'd like to be fucking accustomed with the dick. Yeah, I don't fucking. They're both hell. I mean, who's fucking...
Yeah, just same shit.
Yeah.
Something to strengthen the mind, body, build better habits. Something to strengthen. Okay, Uncle Red, please lift 5 books you highly recommend. The Naval Ravikant, the Almanac of Naval Ravikant. Everyone should read that book. That should be required reading in my mind. And then Tools of Titans, Tim Ferriss. Tribe of Mentors, Tim Ferriss is really good. The book Awareness. By Anthony DeMello is really good. The War of Art is really good. So those 5, read those 5 and stick to it, and you'll fucking change your all shit around. And they're easy reads too.
They have short chapters.
Who's more hung? Short chapters. Yep, easy reads. You'd like it. Okay, here we go. We're going down here a bit. Sorry, the Jake Shields interview would have been longer, ladies and gentlemen, but we had some technical difficulties.
God, that was fucking hard to watch.
Oh, wasn't it?
I wanted to roll under the table. I don't know why that stuff's so. I walk out during movie theaters. I get uncomfortable.
I got this new book, and I want to give it to you when I'm done reading it. It's about the power of positivity of saying no. How to say no in a good way, where it doesn't go bad, doesn't go south, but you say no in a good way.
That's a problem. I mean, because it's saying no is a problem for me, and then when I do say no, I end up fuck you. It just gets bad.
Yes.
I get pushed to a point.
How long until Ezra might get on Dana White's Contender Series? We need to get him to 5-0. Once we get him to 5-0, there's a good chance. I mean, if we can keep him healthy, which he's healthy right now, if we can get him 5-0 by next fall, there's a good chance.
Man, I wish he would took that fight.
Boys and girls, me too.
That was a good fight for him.
Is Riggs still having one more BKFC fight?
Yes, I am. I didn't. So they canceled the Arizona show, of course. They canceled it and they postponed it. Okay. So We'll wait. I'll just wait till I'm fucking 70 and just throw left hand.
Maybe just challenge Dave Feldman.
Just punch him right in the puss.
What would your advice be to someone wanting to open a BJJ MMA gym 5 to 10 years down the line? I mean, dude, you got to just religiously study it and love it. You got to be doing it for the right reason, just because you absolutely love the sport. And then if you can, get around other different head coaches. Try to find the best jiu-jitsu black belt in your city and go take his classes and watch how he runs classes and the structure of the classes. Every coach has a different structure of the class, and you can take so much from these guys, and then save up your money. It's not that expensive to buy mats. It's depending where you're at, it's not that expensive to buy a place. And then don't expect it to be fast, because you're going to probably have very short, not big numbers right off the rip. But then if you're teaching good classes, you're making a good community, and you're making the vibes fun, then it'll slowly grow over time.
Yeah, I didn't think about that when I started my gym. The like running classes, like the curriculum running the right way, and just like things to properly teach. If you don't prepare for that, you're just going to go in there and fuck everything up. I did.
Well, you can go in there and not have a structure for the week, and you could be teaching beginners what you're teaching your purple belts and brown belts.
Yep.
When I was a purple belt, that's when I started training with Taquino, and he made me start completely over. He has a curriculum of what you should learn from the beginning class all the way, not all the way, but for all along ways. Mount escapes, guard passes, just a curriculum of it to make you understand in your brain. Him and his brother have been doing it 25 years, and they created that. Cool. So that helped me a lot structure my classes. Also being around Matt Linland and Chael Sonnen, the way they structured Team Quest classes, and then the way they structured the MMA classes. So I took the best things from all those and put them into my dojo.
Did watching them help you learn how to run your school?
Big time.
No shit.
Big time.
That's cool.
Because even at 20 years old, every gym I'd go, I knew one day I want to open my own gym. So every gym I'd go into, I'd be kind of looking at what I like about it, looking at the schedule, and looking at.
What age? At 20?
20.
No shit.
Yeah.
Good for you.
One of my favorite things is taking a puff, putting in some earbuds, and hitting and kicking the bag. Thoughts? You guys ever do that?
Fuck yeah.
And because you've been smoking 1 or 2 bags a night now?
About 5.
Have you really?
No.
Make sure you're drinking some water.
No, I do. I God damn it. No, I'll get loose on a couple bags. Your bag's a little longer than mine.
Yeah, it's an extra large
a
bag.
Longer
there.
in the tooth. It's but it fucking sets me right, and I'm good to go. Fight with my son. Beat the fuck out of him. The look he gives me.
When you smoke, do you get nicer?
I'm always nice. I'm always in a good. Like I'm like, hey buddy. I find myself fucking walking on eggshells like a fucking.
But then when you see someone giving you a little disrespect, I can see it slowly changes.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's. My son, like yesterday, he said flat out, no, I'm not going like 5. I'm like, hey son, and then I'm like, that's fucking. I just snap, and he's like, you always get mad. I'm like, you fucking pushed me.
My blood sugar.
and then I pumped the brakes, and then I started being calm again, and then he's just looking at me like a fuck. I just wanted to wail on him. 16, right? Yeah, he's 16. He's just
and he's going through his own shit too.
I know. I don't know what he's going through, but my dad was growing up. I had a tough childhood, just like you did. But I couldn't imagine ever speaking to my dad like that. You know?
Me neither. And it's weird I'm sure when you get into those situations, parenting, you're like, it just there's a file somewhere in your brain how your dad handled it with you.
For sure.
And then that automatically comes out when instead of sitting back and thinking about it.
Absolutely. Then as I get older, even the shitty childhood I did have, I see that some things my dad did I didn't understand. Now I do, and I put a lot of time in with my son. it's not. My son. The course can be corrected, but it's got to be fucking now.
Yeah.
And I have to knock him unconscious. No, I'd never hit my son. Like if I didn't hit him after what he did the other day, fucking never will. I don't think I could ever fucking actually hit my son.
Yeah, where he's like, well. Yeah, you're right.
No, I could never crack my son.
Yeah. What are your predictions on the bantamweight division looks like when Sean returns? Umar champ. Any prospects you think will climb to the top 5? All the boys at the lab, they have big fucking fights.
They do.
Marcus has a big fight versus Jonathan Martinez.
Kyler
has a big fight versus Rob Font. Mario's got a big fight versus Jose Aldo.
It's crazy.
So, those guys, they're close to bursting in the top 5. We'll see. That's why I told Sean, I'm like, it's pointless to talk about what's next. Let's just bring 100% focus to this surgery and bring the same work ethic you bring into the gym, into healing from this surgery, and he's going to do that.
Is repairing the labrum, is it more of a it takes time to heal than just getting a hip replacement? Because that's pretty fast and pretty easy. In fact, most people get a hip replacement walking around the same day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thoughts on, well, my mom, she's not allowed to do blood transfusions. And the doctor said, hey, if we put you under, we might have to do a blood transfusion. She said no. So she stayed awake during her hip replacement.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hip replacement.
Holy shit. That's because
so they're hacking, they're drilling, they're sawing, they're fucking, and she's awake.
Because she didn't the blood contamination.
She doesn't want blood transfusion.
Yeah. Fuck. Wow. Whew.
Fuck,
Dude, I would
right?
fucking buck my.
Oh my God! Watching the Achilles surgery back.
Oh,
Being awake
God.
for that.
If anybody hasn't watched the surgery that Tim had, I fucking God, it happened.
Were you watching it?
Oh, several times I would listen to it, and like, because it's fun. Because I like to watch that stuff. But that was fucking horrible.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Brendan Sharbury, thoughts on MMA Guru acting like y'all aren't friends? In his video about Sean's fight, he says you guys were disrespectful to him and he declined coming to hang out. Says a bunch of shitty stuff about Sean as well. I mean, I think we're fine. I think Guru's fine. He knows I like Guru. I like Guru who knows?
What did he say in the
I don't know.
I wonder what video he's talking about. He might be trolling. But
That could be an old video, Brendan. Yeah, I think we're good with the old Guru.
Although he did respond to Schmitty in the comment section of the last pod. He said he's ready to hit him with a big overhand right.
Straight to the fucking lips.
Would you love to see that?
No.
I would love to see that.
I'm like, God, Schmitty thinks it's all fun and games talking about it until you're standing across from him.
I'd love that guy. You can see his trap stick. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And Schmitty's not. I mean, he's a big guy, but I don't see his shoulders rounded off like that. You know. So I didn't realize that guy was that big of a guy. For some reason, I thought the guy MMA Guru was in a fucking wheelchair. I swear to God, I thought, he is now.
No.
I swear to God,
that was like what was going around on the internet.
And something about him having AIDS or something, which
he tricked a lot of people. Even Aljo made an apology because he's like, I didn't know he was in a wheelchair.
That's fucking hilarious. Did he really? Yeah. That's good. He got me. That son of a bitch.
Tim, why don't you want that fight to happen? Just out of curiosity.
Shane?
I'm like, Schmitty, I don't want to see Schmitty get fucking crumpled. I'm like, Sean, you better. I want Suge, and he will have some good insurance. But it's like, I mean, you blow out your knee.
Oh God! When a big man blows his knee out when he's fighting, he just piles himself up. Well, what if Schmitty just brings the fucking hammer out and it just
I just don't know if the hammer can come. I mean, I've seen him bring the hammer out when he fought Warlike.
Oh, or when he's beating up women.
You did say he had that uppercut.
But that was when if anybody said that, I immediately they don't know the fight. Tim says I had a mean uppercut. He
goes with his lead one.
Yeah.
Would Schmitty train for it?
Again, he says he would, but it's like, dude, you wake up after the first day of training camp, you wake up and you feel like fucking death, and then everything changes.
You get out of bed like a fucking crap.
Yeah.
I do that fucking every day now. It's just.
Javier says, what does it take to get your business to the next level, even when you're tired and stressed?
What?
I mean, just fucking, bro, probably just being consistent with it, brother. Take a little break. Maybe go on YouTube. YouTube has every different type of advice for different businesses. You can learn so much about your shit.
If you're feeling stressed out, rub one out. Just kick back.
Take a breather.
Just get good perspective on life. Did it say what kind of business he had?
No, I don't remember what Javi's got.
You actually know who that is?
Yes. Oh. He's been a supporter for a long time. Have you noticed celebs switching up on you guys yet post 306? I mean, I'm sure there's some out there, but try not to pay a ton of attention to it.
And if you looked that would consume me. It's good. It doesn't not consuming you.
Mm-hmm. B team mentioned that they would fly Sean out for a camp. Well, Nicky Rod messaged me and he said, you guys should come out and train camp and teach him how to get back up. The thing is, dude, we're dealing with some fucking elite grapplers here in Phoenix. There's no one who's going to have like more knowledge than Taquino.
No, fuck.
And there's not really many people who are going to have more knowledge than Bryce Meredith or some of these wrestling guys that we have access to.
Everything you got is fucking firing all cylinders, man. I don't think you need to make a change.
Yeah, no, for sure. But fucking, I guarantee we could learn some shit out there.
Oh, of course.
That room at B Team is crazy. They have literally some of the best guys in the room every single day. So it would be fun to go out there and do a vlog.
I don't know what a vlog is.
Vlog would be one of those YouTube things on the YouTube.
Let's laugh at it, you fucking guy. I don't know what the fuck. Oh my God.
You watched the Kill Tony that I sent you.
Great. Yeah, that would be terrifying. Go out there, just mumbling, stuttering, terrible.
Yeah, it'd be brutal.
What would it take for you to do that?
I don't want to go up there and freestyle something. I'd want to have to sit down for a minute, knowing it's coming, and try to find a minute where I can say a story where it has a funny punchline, and hopefully it works.
Nobody freestyles. Nobody thinks nobody. They all plan it.
Schmitty thinks he could freestyle it and kill.
Oh God, I'd love to hear him. I'd battle him.
Oh God,
I'd ruin him. No, goddamn.
You said you wanted to bring up the puss doctor that came on not long ago, the gynecologist.
Oh, Nick?
He had a kind of a scary story. What was it?
Oh, it's kind of a hilarious story. So he's a puss doctor. So he had the 70-year-old woman come in for a checkup, and she was more concerned with her husband's fucking asshole. He had anal warts the size of cauliflower heads.
Oh my God.
And so Nick knew those were she tested positive for like 4 different STDs. Yeah, it is sad. 70 years old, and then he said. The guy moonlights as a gay sex worker, 70-year-old man going out there getting pounded by who knows who, causing the picture. I didn't even know something like that could exist. It looked like 5 pieces. He's sweating like a sieve, huh? Like 5 pieces of cauliflower pepper around his asshole. I don't know how he could even. It's fucking terrible. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. I got an appointment to get to here at 5:45. So. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Remember, check out patreon.com/RedHawk Academy. They have a podcast. We got a podcast going up every week. Years of content, and we're still brainstorming. Maybe comment below what you think Joe's YouTube should be and what the contents of it should be. I think he could have a really good YouTube. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like and subscribe button. Comment what you think below, and I'll see you guys next week. Love y'all. Bye-bye.